Okay, welcome again. This is part 5. Carrying on with the island for a little while. I've fast forwarded it on for 2 years. We were January 68, I think, last time, so we've gone forward 2 years. Nothing's happened at all up until this point, where our son has had a son himself, which is good news. Let's have a quick check of him. We'll slow down the speed slightly. So he is basically got no traits because he's 0. He'll inherit them, some of them off his mum, some off his dad. When he becomes 6, we'll make him. We might become his guardian, possibly, or we might look for someone else to be his guardian who's got really good traits. The other thing I'm going to do while we're here is we have an unmarried heir now. I'm going to try and find someone, because I'm wasting money. Let's go back here again. You remember our stewardship income, is coming 5 from him and 15, but nothing from the wife because she's as dead as a dodo. So we're actually losing out on the income here, the income uplift. It's 30. Now the way you actually calculate that 30 is you get a 2% uplift for anything over 5. So, trust me on this. If we go back, stewardship is 20, so take off 5, that gets you 15, multiply by 2, that gets you 30. That gets you your number. So, every point that we get will be added on if we get a wife. So I think we should see if we can get a wife which has got some stewardship. As you can tell, there's hardly any out there. In fact, there's hardly any anywhere. My God. If this was a dating agency, it would be going bust pretty quickly. Right, so that was a great idea. I'm not going to marry any of them. Bloody hell, I may as well marry myself. So we'll forget about that for a little while, but we will keep checking to see whether we can get some other ones. We might have a search around maybe as well to see if there's any better ones. Well, I mean, you could use this, I suppose, the search all. Look for married, no. Look for gender, women. Our culture, yeah, why not? Our religion, yeah, why not? So yeah, again, here's one. I don't know why none of these come up really. Why would these not come up? I want someone old though, to be honest. I don't really want any more. There's one, 68. Oh God, I don't really want a young one because she'll create kids that will be heirs, and that could have a whole load of grief. She's weak though, so we'll come back to that. As you can see, I'm completely indecisive. So anyway, where are we at the moment? I'm going to pause again, but just before we do, we'll just summarise. Hey, the old man's dead. Yes. I mean, obviously, it's a terrible, terrible day. We love our father, but get in there, my son. So now, let's pause the game. So now we have Dublin. I don't know why I said Dublin, because that's not how they talk. And Leinster. So we have that, but we also have a slight issue here now, which is title loss on succession. At the moment, our succession basis is Governkind, which means the titles get split, and we have got for fuck's sake, there we go. We've got 2 titles, which means that the county of Leinster, if we look up here, yeah, the county of Leinster is going to be lost on succession because it will go to him and we'll get the main one. So we need to do something about that, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to change the laws, and we have a choice of seniority, primogeniture, or elective. Now, seniority is the oldest member of the dynasty, and I don't ever want that one. I can't see the point ever of having that necessarily, unless you've really got no kids anywhere. Primogeniture is your oldest son. Now that would kind of fit the bill, I think, for us, because it would be him. Elective is the one I often try and use, but there's an issue with elective, which is that the way elective works, it's a bit this will be very dull again, but the way elective works is that if you're talking about an Earl, which we are, because he's the Earl, if we change it to elective, then the people who vote will be the Earl himself, plus all of the next level down of the vassals in his realm. Well, I think it is in his whole realm, which means there's 2 in there, those 2, and then there's 2 in there, which are all the next level down, they're equal level. So that means there'll be 5 electors, of which we only have 1 vote. So theoretically, we could vote for old Funny Chops there, and then all the others could gang up and vote for someone completely different, particularly even someone outside of our dynasty, in which case it would be game over. Now, the way to get around that is, and I'm sounding like I really know all this, the only reason I know this was trial and error on another game where I got this wrong and I couldn't work out why. So that's why I am trying to tell people that I am a noob at this. This isn't stuff I just know, I've just realised it. So the way to get around that is to try and elevate yourself up 1 level and become a duke, because if you're a duke, then the next level of vassals down are earls, so your electors would be the earls and you as duke, and in that case you are the earls because you own both the titles, so therefore it becomes foolproof. However, to become a duke we'll have to create this title, this de jure title, which I think we're going to do anyway, but the moment you do that, up here, this has to have ruled for 10 years, where is it? Has reigned for at least 10 years. That resets, I think, if you change your title, if you go up 1, which means you won't be able to change the law. So, we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. If we could change it to elective and hope that everybody supports our heir, when we become... In fact, actually, I know what we can do. Why don't we change it to elective now, and then let's usurp this title. Well, not usurp it, let's create this title, and we'll see what happens. It could all go Pete Tong, but it's worth a go. I think we're all in agreement with that. In fact, I am unanimous about that. I'm going to have a crack at doing it. So, the point is... what is the point? The point is... we're going to go for the elective and let's see what happens. So let's go for the elective. Here's all the bollocks. The ruler and each lower ranked vassal, i.e. the dukes if the ruler was a king, can nominate a successor from among themselves and legitimate children and siblings of the ruler. Legitimate children and siblings of the ruler. I didn't realise that. So anyway, let's just do this, right? So we need to now nominate a successor because that's the elective. We want Domnall. Where is he? There he is. So we'll nominate Domnall. Now this is the interesting bit, okay? If you go over, well, the interesting bit. Go here. Now you see this all little crown thingy above every one of these because they are electors now in the county of Dublin, which means they're going to elect the Earl of Dublin because we've turned it to elective. And if we unpause and let it go forward, this, which says there's 1 vote, will go up. Basically, the 4-5 vassals will all vote. Well, it should do anyway. Shortly. Yeah, there we go. So now all the little vassals are making their decisions. So 2 of them are voting with me. I'm assuming the others will vote. There are 3, 4. So there you go. It's worth the gamble, and it paid off because all bar 1. Don't know what the other one's doing. He must be. I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? The other guy. Don't know. Mate. He's just maybe he's. There he is. God, yeah, take your time, mate. So he's done that. Now I'm just going to show you that because that's vaguely interesting. I think. Well. There you go. And these are all of Bishop. Now favours Domnall and there's 1 for each of them. They all favour him at the moment. They can change their minds, of course, which will bugger things up. So now let's try and create this Duchy title that we have a de jure claim on here. Go de jure. Go to the Duchy of Meath. Right. Now I'm going to create this because we now have enough money. And old useless bollocks here has not managed to fabricate any claims yet, so we're going to use most of our cash up, but we need to start getting a move on here. But the interesting thing will be what happens to the electors. At the moment there's 5 electors, me and the 4 county blokes, but I now think I will become the sole elector when we do this. So if we create that, we do that. Now the first thing it says is nominate a successor, because again we've all gone up. So let's nominate old silly bollocks again. So he's been nominated. Now you notice all of our vassals are no longer electors. And why is that? Because the elector we've gone up a level now, so we're now the Duke Merchant of Meath. Sounds good. To find out what the electors for the dukedom, you have to go down 1 level of vassal, and down 1 level of vassal from dukedom is earldom. So there's 2 earls, and we are both of them. Therefore we hold all the elector titles. Now what that does do sometimes, I don't know if it does it with these people, no, they haven't done it too much. Sometimes you get a hit if you hold all the elector titles, but it's possible that, I think that maybe that happens when you have a king and then you look at all the dukes. If you are a king and you also hold all the dukedoms, then the vassals start to get seriously annoyed with you, because you're basically electing completely. But they seem to be okay with this. Maybe it'll change. So basically what we've done now is we've secured our dynasty for the moment. We've elected him and we are now the only elector. Now I could have just gone down the primogeniture route, which I will do at some point. As you can see with this whole election thing, as we've said before, if you it all works. The elective succession planning thing works very well when it's a very small realm, because ultimately you can usually control all the votes yourself. But when it gets bigger, you start getting a bit of a nightmare going on. So where basically you get people who hold titles below you, there's more of them than there is of you, and they've got more votes, and they can start electing people that you really wouldn't want in there, and theoretically it could end your game. So that's why I've gone for the elective so far, because it gives you choice, particularly as I think all of his traits are a little bit iffy, and I want to have a choice in case in case this bloke turns out to be say he has a couple of kids and this guy turns out to be an absolute dingbat, then I want to be able to choose someone else, because we're not getting much at the moment in the way of stewardship numbers. But that's the succession planning bit. I've become the Duke. Oh no, that's interesting. He is... yeah. This was the other thing that's vaguely interesting. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, that's what I should have remembered. When you look at the electors for the dukedom, you have to take into account that there's actually another Earl, and it's the Earl of Kildare. Now he's nothing to do with us at the moment. However, it works on a de-jure basis, i.e. a legal basis, and the legal basis of the Duchy of Meath, of which I am the top, is that there are 2 counties. So therefore, whilst the 2 electors of the Duchy of Meath will actually be... oh, bloody hell. Sorry, they're all coming of legal age. Because the Duchy of Meath includes the County of Kildare, he's an elector. So therefore he's told you up there that he favours himself, funnily enough, as the heir. He doesn't favour me, and if you go up here you'll see the 2 votes. However, because I am the Duke, my vote wins on a tie. So that's okay. So again, what we'll do ultimately, we're going to have this title off him anyway, so it's irrelevant. Shortly. So I think, but I'm not sure, I'm assuming that these guys that this guy would be an elector if we gave this county to someone else, but I can't be sure. So anyway, we can press de-jure claims, so now we've got a de-jure right. If you look, we can now declare war on him, a ducal claim on Kildare, so that we have our first legitimate claim. but we don't have any money really, so I'm going to wait for the money to clock up. In the meantime, there's people thinking they're the better Chancellor. So this is our nephew versus him. Well, he clearly is a better Chancellor, isn't he? So let's change him over. Pause the game a minute while it's doing all this rubbish. Okay, so now we're going to fabricate claims back again into green. Let's just check all of them to make sure there isn't someone better hanging about here. So the steward is 15, best one's a 9. Spy master is an 18, but he's a 19, and the bish bash is he's 16. So let's have a quick look. What else are we going to do here? Because every so often you have to keep reviewing. So let's go back and look at. Okay, now this bishop doesn't like us. The bishop who's in Leinster, he was the one we've just acquired. He likes the Pope more than us. So first things first is we will give him a tile. Hopefully got some left. Yeah, there's 2 left. So we'll give him that tile. We'll also give the other new bloke, who's a tile as well. And then we will take this guy, the court chaplain. He was over here improving religious relations with himself. It's not a euphemism. And then, so now what we'll do is we'll now move him to improve religious relations in Leinster. So hopefully he will make this even better. By giving him our title, we've upped him slightly, so we're going to make a little bit more money. But he's now going to hopefully get that number up a bit more. What else is going on while we're at it? Not a lot really. Nothing as much has gone on in Ireland. We're still trying to fabricate the claims. Revolt risk in Kildare, but that's not our problem, that's his problem. We had revolt risk there, so that's quite low, that's low, so we don't really have too much to worry about. And our monthly income, which was about 1 before, now we've got Leinster, that's gone up. So what the aim now is to wait, I think, to get about 100 odd gold, and then we'll attack him, I think, because, well, actually, let's have a look. We can hire 609. We can hire 609. This guy hasn't got much of a levy at all, what we can tell. So we could have a crack at it. We could have a crack at hiring this and going for him, but it's a slight risk. He does have a. We'll be able to defeat his troops, I think, because we just have more than him. But it's whether we then have enough to successfully siege him. I think we probably will. So maybe what we'll do is we'll scoot it on a little bit longer just to get a bit more gold, and then we'll go for it. So I'll pause briefly. Right, 3 to 1. You're back in the room. I've decided I can't be asked to wait, so I'm going to invade Kildare. But in the meantime, we're feeling a bit frisky. We don't have a wife, so he thinks that some courtier is going to fancy him. So basically, he's going to have a tumble with her. I'm sure that'll be all very good. We are actually attempting, he should know, to go to war. So I've decided we will invade this bloke. We do have 2 counties versus his 1, so we should have some more troops. So but because it's tightish, I'm going to take our marshal and get him to train troops. So if we look at these numbers here, we've got 700. My maths is crap. 678 troops. So let us stick him over into Dublin. I'm hoping. I went to Lady Fingerweiler's chamber and gave her a good tumble. Falls in love with her. Marvellous. He's going to create some bastards. So, what did I just send him to do? Train troops. So, hopefully the levy size has now risen while he's there. However, we have to now give it a time. I should have thought about this. We have to give it time now to actually find those extra people. So we'll speed it on a tiny bit. Just to get those a few troops, squeeze the extra troops out. Gains the trait hunter. Is that Marshall or something? Marshall, so he gets +1 Marshall. Okay, where are we now? So we're halfway there. Our total military is now coming up to 700 odd. So I reckon it's time to... Oh, he's had my son's had more kids. He's just doing all right. He's not put off, I don't think, by his wife's hair lip, is he? She don't like him though. What's the matter with her? Oh, she's outraged by the succession law change. Why? That's ridiculous. Her husband's going to succeed. I don't believe it. It's women for you, isn't it? There's just no trusting. Anyway, here we go. Let's stop faffing about. So we've got virtually all of that levy. In fact, it is now raised. So I've slowed the clock down. We've raised the training troops, so we've raised that extra level. So now we've got 760. Let's declare war. Remember, you have to declare war before. Oh, fucker. He's got an extra levy reinforcement rate going on. Bollocks, let's go for it. Who cares? So remember, you have to declare war before you raise your levies. No idea why that is the case, but I suppose it stops you just building forces up on borders and things. So there we go. We're now at war, so let's go up here and raise everything we can. So we're going to move them. And the first thing to do is move our troops together. Always consolidate the forces. Hopefully this looks alright, because it looks like that's it. He's been able to raise to 186. So that's not a particularly stunning effort, is it? Although the cheeky bastard's come over, he's taken the fight to us, hasn't he? May as well get our geezer in there as well, although we are winning. There are two armies within that 431, so we'll merge them together, and we're leading them. At the moment we're beating him. I don't know too much about this whole, I know there's this sort of melee and skirmish, but to be honest it seems to be more just battle of the numbers and the training, but it's a little bit harsh. Anyway, we're now slaughtering the bloke. And this is where this thing over here, I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's very good because it gives you all your little stats. So there's a land combat coming up there. Right, so we've beaten him. And now we're going to send all of our troops in to Kildare to lay siege. If you have this little thing down here, this is the war score. Click on that and you get how we're doing, and that's 28%. Basically, and then if you try and offer peace, he'll probably say, oh, the war is indecisive, bless him. If you say offer white peace, that's a shared thing, he'll say yes, but we'd lose prestige. So anyway, another battle occurred. All of our troops are in here now. Let's merge them all up again for the hell of it. And now we are sieging our opponents. So this is where our chaplain went in and was trying to make this guy see us in a good light. However, it's all gone tits. He's just lost 20. He's insulted. So anyway, we're sieging this now, and that is all. And it's all about the morale of these defenders. He's got no levy in there because we just killed his entire levy. So he's got a garrison of 225. It's important to remember that we're not actually fighting here because we can't, apart from when they occasionally pop out, as they've just done here, or more importantly, he's raised another levy. But it's kind of pointless because they're just going to get slaughtered. So we're now just laying siege to him, and the idea is that their morale is going to fall because obviously we're starving them, and how quickly that morale goes depends on the technology level, the fort level. If they have a really, really big, strong fort level, which in this case they don't, he hasn't upgraded it at all, then you can get really big fort levels, and this will take forever. In other games I've played, you can just be sieging them forever because the fort level is so good, the defender's morale doesn't fall. But in this case, it is falling. This will be the hardest one to crack because it's got fort level of 3. If we then besiege the church, there is no fort, and in the city it's a tiny fort. So once you've done that one, it's all done really. So what I'm going to do is fast forward it because I can't be bothered to sit here and wait for the purpose of this. So we'll just see the siege falling. Oh, shit. Occasionally you get this thing where they get a defending bonus. You know, their morale recovered slightly there. But overall, you can see here, this is the progress of the siege. This is why I like this thing on the right, even though it's not being explained. It tells us what army we have in the field. It tells us what our advisors are actually doing. It gives us all our whatever. Again, the defending troops got a bonus of 10% because they keep coming out and making sort of little lightning raids on us. See, they keep doing it, bastards. But either way, they are probably going to lose. As you can see, the siege now is at 70%. Oh, that's useful as well. We got an extra bit of gold of 12. So the siege is nearly done for that first holding. There we go. Oh no, not quite. Next one. There we are, and we see the war score jumps right up. He might even now decide to give in. If not, we'll let the next one just occur. Do you go to offer peace? No. I'm losing, but I won't give up yet. But he will probably give up now. There he is. I always. I don't know why you're telling me that. But anyway. So. Now this is interesting. He proposes to be the liege. I wonder what happens if I don't want him as my liege. I want to take it over. So what happens if I decline that? I wonder what happens. Oh, hang on. What the bloody hell? He wants some. Bishop wants some gold. Whatever. I'm just going to let this siege end and see if it changes, because at the moment he is going to just be our liege, which I don't really want. What the hell? My dear Duke, while I may not always have viewed you as favours as I should, I sincerely regret my behaviour. Yeah, that's nice for you. I'm pleased to hear that. Let's see what this guy now does, because we've basically, it's ended really. There isn't anything else to siege, so I guess he just becomes our new liege. We say yes. And there we are. So first thing to do, disband the troops because we're paying for them. We now have our extended little holding there, and he is our new liege. He probably doesn't. No, he doesn't mind us. That's because he's content. And we have someone who wants to get married, so we'll find him something nice. So I'm just going to pause it. We have a plot, possibly. There we are, known plots. Now this is very good. Very, very good. Because our marshal, who is what the hell? City of Dublin. That's us. What the hell's that? Oh, sorry. Yeah. The guy who owns the city of Dublin wants to get rid of someone. Where is it? Come on. It wants to get rid of your daughter-in-law. I have no idea why. And they want, and they're backing it. Now, I'm not entirely sure why he'd want to do that. Why would he want to do that? the Marshal wants to get rid of. But anyway, there's something useful here because he's been backed by both the bishops. Why is the bishops backing him? Your daughter-in-law. What's wrong with her? Hair, lip, diligent, cynical, kind. It's very bizarre. If anyone can tell me why they think those people. But anyway, there's something very useful here because what we can do is tell them to stop backing the plan. Firstly, and if we do that, we'll get an opinion boost from them both because they've been caught. Cheeky monsters. So, I want to know why. Oh yeah, sorry, I've stopped the clock, haven't I? So as you see, they'll answer us shortly, but we're going to get an opinion jump from, and this will be useful there, because they've been caught backing a plot to get rid of our daughter-in-law. Why were they trying to do that? Her. I will no longer back the dubious plot. There you go, look, 100. That's because he's got discovered back in a plot, plus 50. What about this bloke here? Have we not done the same with him as well? Stop backing the plot. Did we not ask you to do that? Oh yeah, 2 days. Okay, so we've got 2 more days, so we should get a good uplift from him. Okay, and then on our Marshal, we'll do the same thing with him. Just say in the plot, matey. And that kind of is where I think we're going to get to. One last thing, we're going to talk about messages a little bit later. You have all these messages, our enemy attacked. When you end up getting really busy and you get shitloads of them, if you want to get rid of all those messages, hit shift when you hold the shift key when you get rid of the first one. It gets rid of them all. That's just a little tip for you there. We'll just let our Marshal fella say that he's going to end the plot. The vassal levies were raised too long, but they're not now. The next thing to do ultimately is to probably try and get the title off this guy. We'll see how we can do that. And he's been told off. So that's kind of where we are. We have now managed to achieve Kildare and Dublin as a duchy. We've got Leinster and Surrey, so we can now create the duchy there when we have enough money. Sorry, that's the Kingdom of Ireland, isn't it, you muppet? Yeah, it's there. Duchy of Leinster, sorry. Yeah, so we'll create that, but we need 187, so we can't do that. So far. So that's it for this bit. Sorry, it's all been waffly. I'm not sure there's much in there that I've really mentioned that's amazing. So anyway, we'll see what happens on the next one. Bye bye.